and said in Nene Leak's voice, I said what I said. What's up, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of the Lone Limit Podcast. I'm your host, Chelsie, and hopefully this is your host, Jay. Jay, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
You know, today's going to be a fun episode. It's going to be a great one. I'm going to just put that out there. I'm manifesting it now, regardless of your thoughts on this book. It's going to be a fun episode.
All right.
Yeah? Fingers crossed.
I don't like how you're assuming what my thoughts on the book are, but all right.
I'm saying regardless of your thoughts. Because sometimes you make me nervous. You throw curveballs in there and I just go, did we read the same book?
Okay.
Jay, I do have a question for you. Because I've been thinking about this a lot lately. What? You already look nervous.
I'm very nervous because what were you thinking about?
Do you ever feel like your book taste has changed? I don't want to say like you're growing out of certain genres, but I'm in this phase right now where like romance gives me the ick, but thrillers have me in a chokehold. And I want to know if I'm broken or not. You know what I'm saying?
No, I think that's actually pretty natural. It's interesting for you to kind of say grow out of it.
Because I don't want to use that phrase because like there's something for everyone in every genre. You just got to find it.
That's why I say I thought that was an interesting term. I don't necessarily think it's like a growing into or out of certain things. I just think that certain things grab your attention and hold it at specific times, and that's okay. Right? Like, I think you kind of have more natural growing out of or into, in a, like, an age wave. Like, and obviously, like, young adult, like that kind of thing.
Right.
But I think now it just, especially because you are definitely a mood reader, I think it more so just, like, you're finding a genre that's, like, capturing you right now, and you're enjoying it. I think that's completely fine. Like, I personally don't think romance will give you the ick forever. But if it is right now, I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Okay, because, listen, these romances are not hitting. And honestly, this might be part of it. I feel like what's being promoted out there is not hitting the way it used to hit. Like, when I think of when I first joined Bookstagram, like, almost 4 years ago, it was like the dawn of a new age, it felt like. Like, everything, I wanted to just read it and consume it. And then for the first time, I'm behind on my reading goal since I started, a Book Talk, Bookstagram life. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm only like 2 books behind. But for the first time in a long time, I'm looking at it like I might not hit my reading goal for the year because books are just not hitting the way I need them to.
Now, question for you. Do you think that's a little bit of like, because the whole novelty isn't new anymore, so it's kind of a little bit more mundane? Like, do you think that's an element to it?
I've had this fear for like 2 years because those of us with ADHD know that new activities are started but never finished.
Okay.
But I've had that concern for a while, and I'm still buying books. Like, I'm interested, but I just can't convince myself to read them because if I am disappointed
we also know that
time,
buying books and reading books are 2 completely different activities.
Yes, but if I am disappointed one more time, I will be threatened to like set something on fire, and that can't be a book. So what else are my options?
Blasphemy. Okay, I get it. No, I actually really love the whole, like, if one genre isn't really serving me right now, jumping to another. Yeah. I definitely thought I was a lot more open to things that I've learned that I'm not. Podcast. But I used to, like, randomly be like, oh, I'm just going to walk into a bookstore and any title, any cover that calls me, no matter what is inside, I'm going to read.
Right.
I don't do that anymore.
Listen.
But, I definitely, especially like with the library and stuff, I definitely kind of I try to branch out into other genres here and there. And sometimes I find gems and I'm like, great, but this is an anomaly because it's not really the genre I prefer. And then other times I'm like, this is exactly why I don't read this. So I like the whole branching out. I think for me personally, distance makes the heart grow fonder. So knowing my boo thing is there, I like to reach out, do something else, and be like, "Ooh, I miss it. Let me go back." And that's kind of how I trick myself into staying into it.
Speaking of tricks, you tricked me into something this week, right?
What did I trick you into?
Y'all, what's Jay's favorite catchphrase? The internet is a trap.
I know.
You know what Jay did this week? Sent me something on Threads. It said, "I wonder what this is about," and then left it there, knowing good and darn well she wasn't going to search for it and find the full answer, and that was going to be my job. You see how she's laughing and not defending herself because she knows that I am telling the truth?
I definitely just accidentally gave you homework and dipped. Like, I really didn't even mean to do that, but I absolutely was not going to read it for myself.
Oh, I'm going to have to look this up later. Girl, you just two thumbs. You know I'm going to have to figure it out for us both.
Yeah, I know exactly what I did.
Yes. So, I don't go on Threads, okay? It doesn't do anything for me. It's basically Twitter. And I was never the queen of Twitter to begin with. I just want to watch funny videos and move on with my life. That's just how I live, right? But then Jay sent a thread to me and said, "I wonder what happened." Naturally, I'm nosy and I know how to find things. So Black Romance Book Festival posted a thread saying that they're no longer using Threads. Naturally, I had to figure out why.
They said a lot more than just that in that post, but that was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing right now.
Yeah.
Here are some things before we dive into the story that I want to make clear. Number one, this is all alleged. Don't sue me. Sue your mama. Okay? Number two, I understand that I do not have the full scope of the picture because I do not have BRBF's logins to social media, and I understand that. And number three, let's make this one very clear for the people in the back. This is my opinion. Okay? So why don't you take your opinion, put it in the comments, and respectfully remove yourself. Okay? Good talk. Now, in an effort to help authors, Black Romance Book Festival put out a list of illustrators. So, it's like a directory for those who are looking for the next person to do their book cover. Which, honestly, shout outs to y'all for sharing resources. I have to give y'all your props. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Then the discussion became the use of AI when creating book covers. There was also another random tangent about interracial relationships that we're not going to get into because I didn't find that full thread, so we're going to leave that one alone.
Okay. You've also already gotten yelled at for that conversation as well.
Down part. So people started asking, what their stance was on the use of AI when it comes to books and book covers. Now, I think Jay and I have made it very clear that we are anti-AI.
Yeah.
Which, we both have had these conversations on and off camera about our feelings towards AI, and especially when it comes to the book space, because she and I have even had conversations of, I can tell when a book cover is AI and it makes me not want to read it.
Yeah.
You see how that's my opinion? And we're having an open dialogue, y'all?
Yeah.
So, BRBF put out a statement stating that they don't condone the use of AI. And they're not going to police authors. An author politely said, "Hey, I don't think condone is the right word to use here because you have authors that use AI. So why don't you change it?"
At the event.
Yeah.
Right.
So why don't you change condone to approve? Whoever was running BRBF's campaign came back full force with attitude and said in Nene Leak's voice, "I said what I said."
That is the perfect summary of the energy. Oh my gosh.
Well, the author and another person came back with the candy retort and said, "Well, what you said was some bullshit." Okay? This energy did not work out well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I understand that all social media can be a cesspool for negative Nancys. I get it. What struck me about the whole interaction and what I really want to discuss is the way BRBF came full fire and brimstone. Like straight attitude from the beginning, ready to demolish people, calling people out their name, trying to paint people in this light of like crazies and attacking people. Even when commenters took their thoughts to their own thread and were no longer tagging BRBF and were just trying to have their own dialogue, BRBF was then like, I don't know what the threads version of it is, but like retweeting it with their own comments. And it was like, yo, we've left
on
you.
the side conversation?
Yes.
Ooh.
And so then the people are like, yo,
Sometimes
I
you
left
just gotta
you
log
alone,
off.
but you're
Sometimes
calling
you
me
just gotta log off.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, when do we start holding BRBF accountable for their response to this? Because, listen, this isn't even about the AI at this point. It's your customer service when dealing with people on the internet. Because Tide is not going to be out here in these comments and retweeting people and fist fighting in the form of words, essentially.
And what's
What are
interesting,
we
because we
doing?
talked about this too, where we love a nice snarky like account responses to
Listen,
stuff, like
a nice
when
little
they have like
clapback
the
is
flair,
cute.
the witty banter, like those are adorable. But it's usually just that it's a one-off comment, or if they make a stance on something, then they're kind of like jokingly making responses to trolls or whatever. Like we appreciate that type of energy from certain accounts, but I feel like in response to this particular post, that was not the time and place or energy for clapbacks or like, it was one of those things where like, if you're trying to say something informative or important, like this is not the time for jokes in this moment. Like you're trying to say something, you're trying to clarify something, like.
My thing was like, she came at them with so much respect. Unless things were deleted by the time I saw it.
Okay.
The response came back with so much respect. And even other people were like, hey, I don't know if you fully read the message. This is what she's really saying. Like other people were like, hey, no, like take a second. This is really what we're trying to say in this moment. And instead of saying, hey, I hear you, I see what you're saying, or just saying, hey, thanks. Thank you for that grammatical correction, because that's all it was. No attack. Instead, BRBF went on the defensive immediately. And it's like, I understand that their threads and their DMs might be flooded every day with negativity. But at what point do we say that comes with the job?
Yeah. Like, listen, like you said at the top, we don't have their login. We don't know all the messages. We don't know the DMs that come with it, whatever the case may be. All we're seeing is the public responses that are still left open. And this was like what kind of sparked our conversation about it privately, where I was kind of just like, to say you're leaving an entire platform when you're using said platform for sharing information and for promotions and everything like that, I was like, it feels drastic. And it was just one of those things where like, definitely understand and respect you setting boundaries to protect your mental health. But that was also kind of like also my questioning, where I'm just like, but technically this isn't a person. This is an event's social media. So obviously a person is running it, but it should be devoid of an emotional responses.
Right.
If the point of the account is to share information. And what they've also used as well is to keep people engaged and excited about the upcoming event. So that's where I was kind of just like, you walking away from an entire platform that you have used in the past and up until now continue to use as a point of engagement and promotions and interactions. You're leaving an entire platform that is considered very amazing in this specific space because of, from me, it feels like an emotional response. And that feels extraordinarily human. And the boundaries that were put up also feels like you're protecting yourself, which I always applaud. But again, you are not you are an account. So maybe just like taking a different approach to what you are posting or what you're engaging with if it comes to that point.
Well, it's also like, at some point you could have chosen to stop responding. If you're being flooded with so many notifications, just pick and choose who you respond to. Because this woman chose to go over to her own page and mind her business, stop tagging y'all, and continue to share her free thought, which last time I checked, she's allowed to do. And y'all still continue to attack her, which was wild. But also, if you want this to be a sense of community amongst us blacks and anybody else who wants to join, you can't be upset when the community is giving you feedback. Because Jay and I have also talked about how they asked us to do a survey at the end of last year. We did it, and so far, none of what we said in our surveys are showing as advertised in their planning for the next one.
Yeah.
So it's
which in part was why I didn't want to do this upcoming year, just giving it a break, and hopefully they get some more kinks out. What I thought was interesting though, I accidentally gave you homework and then dipped. I did end up going back on Threads later because in my heart it was my point to go back and find the information. What I thought was very interesting, it kind of turned into a lot of, well, I shouldn't say a lot. Several authors that I did see from the first year, and a couple are talking about their process in this year, in the comments and in other posts, basically making it very clear their stance about not being a fan of AI. And then it was also other readers responding and saying as well in terms of their experiences with AI and how anti they were in terms of for a multitude of reasons. So for me, it kind of just felt like you were saying, if this is the community and the demographic that you're trying to serve, and they are telling you we are receiving this like this, and you're just doubling down and not listening to the response, it feels a little tone deaf. And honestly, we all know this, like, there's so many spaces that we don't get to dictate, and we don't really have the say that we want to say in them. So to have a black specific space disregard, it feels a little uncomfortable.
I will say for me, this definitely has me rethinking 2027 because
really,
and it's not even the AI piece to it. It's very much all she said was, hey, your message is coming off like this. I think your intent was this way, so use this word. It was never, I disagree with what you're saying. She was never saying you need to do this instead. Like, flat out, I read, when I tell y'all I did my homework, I mean, I was reading through every reply that I could find to make sure that I was understanding what the hell was going on, because it was that just so far left. And I was like, this feels crazy for people who I know have used AI, so why are you being so defensive about it?
This is an event that I thoroughly enjoyed the environment that was created, but there were some experience things that I wanted to be bettered.
Yeah. And
then, like you said, for this upcoming event for 2026, it feels like they're doing the exact opposite of what I felt. Then, just my personal opinion, like, and I'm not involved.
No, a lot of people had this opinion. A lot of people felt the same way.
I was trying to soften it a bit.
No, because I talked to multiple people that I met at that event.
Yes.
And people that I still speak with. Like, there were people who had to go sit in corners just to find a moment of peace.
Yeah.
And also, so why you raise the price of tickets just for me to see Lloyd? I didn't ask for Lloyd. Is Lloyd going to be reading a book to me? Anyway, I digress.
No, I know. I personally really feel like they've made it too big.
Right.
And too extravagant, especially for the second one. I'm not saying you can't better, but I don't feel like they fixed the things that needed to be addressed in the first one. They're just adding so much more in the second one. And that was one of the things that they mentioned in the post, that they were just like, oh, we aren't really making money off of this because we absorb a lot of the cost of the add-ons. And I was kind of looking at it like, okay, but why? Like at some point, and I understand like what the purpose of it is and the excitement and everything like that, but I'm just like, as you're building this beautiful community and event that we would love to see annually continuously, okay, but with the success of the first one and with the intrigue and potential from what we're hearing and seeing success of what's happening in the second one, why are you not making money? Because now I'm looking at, like, this doesn't seem like a sustainable business model that, again, we want this event to be successful so it can continue to happen. And it's kind of just like, y'all can't drop the ball already.
So what I'll say is this. If anyone from BRBF sees this, open to dialogue. Like I said, I'm not in your DMs. So if there were more things that I didn't see, happy to have that conversation and correct my stance on the situation. Mm-hmm. Until I hear otherwise, that response was a little escalated for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Now,
switching lanes. Mm-hmm. See what I did there?
Yeah. I see you! Also, y'all, I'm like so distracted. My shadows are so crazy.
Girl, we got a whole podcast.
Out my window.
We got a whole podcast to do. Now, switching lanes.
Uh-huh.
Because I need to bring my segue back. Let's talk about today's book.
Yes, let's get into it.
Today's book was Cross the Line by Simone Soltani.
Yes?
Ma'am, if I said your name wrong, I apologize. Please correct me. I want to make sure that I am saying it correctly.
Yeah.
I didn't have the audio, so I read with my eyes, and my eyes said it's Soltani.
That sounds like what I heard. It's okay. I'll do the research of how it sounds, and then we start gabbing, and I forget by the time we go.
Listen, last time I didn't know words. This time we just gonna let it rock, okay? At least I had coffee today.
Hey, okay, yeah.
Today's book is a love story, but it's a F1 love story.
Okay, I love
the fast cars.
F1 and Formula 1 are the same thing, right?
Yes, it's the abbreviation.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that. Okay, great.
Yeah. So the book, his career is the same as Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, okay, cool. I know him from fashion. I know he's a driver, but I don't watch the races, so I know him from fashion.
Ironically, we are filming this the weekend of the Las Vegas Grand Prix.
Oh, okay.
So when I tell you, I was sitting here like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep, that sounds right. Pole position, I got you. Not talking about stripper.
That's so funny, because I read it the complete opposite. I was like, okay, I wonder if all this is accurate. Like, I was like, okay.
Now, like, I can't speak to the full accuracy of it unless little F1 hottie want to hit up my DMs. I don't have 100% insight. But some of the words made sense, you know?
I thought Simone did a fantastic job of the race stuff because me not really know. So, y'all, I play racing video games. I've tried, but I don't watch races. I lose interest pretty quickly, but I like to race in like video games. So in terms of like reading the race procedurals of things and the prep and stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm interested. Like, it doesn't sound like another foreign language to me. Like, I didn't understand all of the things, but I understood that everything had a purpose and the stuff. So I was like, even when the whole tire thing happened, I was like, yeah, the tires make sense. Like, I was following along.
Let's get into it, because you just made references to things we have not discussed yet. So people are like, sure, I don't know.
We'll get into it.
So Cross the Line is about our girl Willow, who's secretly in love with her brother's best friend, Dev.
So I want his name to be Dev, but in the audiobook they kept calling him Dave, and I was like, that definitely spells Dev.
No, that's 100% Dev.
Okay.
Until Simone tells me otherwise, that's Dev for
they
this
literally
recording.
called him Dave the whole book, and I was like ready to fight. I was like, it's DEV. Okay, so Dev. We'll call him
that would send me on a spiral. The Lord knew not to let me get my hands on that audiobook.
Yeah. No, you were saved for sure. I think you would have threw it out the window.
Yeah. So Willow ends up becoming the social media manager for her brother's best friend that she's had a crush on since basically birth. And they're coming off the heels of having a secret little rendezvous that they're trying to pretend didn't happen. But Dev got bigger fish to fry because he pissed off his old social media manager, who then alluded to the fact that he has a STI on all his social media platforms.
Which was hilarious. I'm so sorry, but that's kind of the perfect F you, let me leave, yeah.
Listen, she nicer than me. Listen, because I would have done something much worse.
I mean, my thing is the only thing you could have done is do that, then change all the passwords.
It's my account now, baby.
But y'all, for anyone, for legal purposes, I have never done this.
For legal purposes, I have never thought about it either.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the book.
Uh-huh. So, Willow sets off on the road, following Dev around the world as he races. But Dev got bigger fish to fry.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is racing for a team that's racist as hell.
Mm-hmm. And Dev is Indian American, so that's kind of a little problematic.
Well, he's Indian and white. And they make that distinction because Willow is black and white. And the reason they got along is because both of their white dads became best friends. They said, we're going to stick through this whole racing situation together. Which, honestly...
Which I thought was very cute.
It's very cute, but I'm kind of disappointed we didn't get a sneak peek of their friendship in this book.
I get what you mean. Also, I thought it was very interesting that they made a point to make the distinction that both of their respective dads was the one that was white, because I feel like their culture shines through really well, and I feel like they usually say that whatever the mom's background is usually what the kid follows, and I feel like in both cases it definitely felt that way.
Definitely. So, from the get-go, Willow and Dev realize it's going to be real hard to be friends because they both got feelings. And really the only barrier stopping them at this point is the fear of Willow's brother Oakley.
No. Willow's brother Oakley, yes, but then it was also the fact that this is her actual career, and then she didn't want to get a reputation.
That was not a real fear. And hear me out when I say this. I say it's not a real fear because it only became a fear once they were like, Oakley will get over it. And I think Simone was like, nah, I got to push this out a little bit further. So here's the second reason. So, very quickly, they already giving each other the googly eyes. And Willow is doing her magic. She's saving his career one photo at a time because he out here surfing on his free time.
Also, I want to say this. I really love the way that Simone framed both of their careers. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like sometimes social media can kind of just be like, oh, whatever. But you can see how important it was and how it was used. And I love the fact that she took the job very seriously and did it very well. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't seem as just like, oh yeah, she's just following us around taking photos. Like, no, she had plans, she had meetings, she had reports for every day. I love the way, obviously, Dev's career as the driver is it's the world that they all live in. And I love that Willow's career also was represented well and respected in the writing.
Definitely. And I think her writing overall was amazing. Mm-hmm. I will say, Jay, made it 200 pages. Not a nary mention of a bump and a grind. Okay? Not a near mention. Didn't know what I was supposed to do with myself. I was just sitting here.
So,
waiting.
While I was reading the book, I was telling Chelsie, I was like, I thought I had read more of the book than I actually had. And I didn't realize that I wasn't as far along. And and at some point reading this, I was like, Chelsea's going to be like so mad about this.
But here's the saving grace. And this is going to sound crazy. I actually got annoyed with this book, not because of the slow burn. Mm-hmm. I got mad because I wanted more of the F1 plot.
Really? I thought it was a good amount.
No, so here's the thing, right? I already knew they was going to get together. It is what it is. All right, cool. We moving on. Mm-hmm. We didn't like Buck, essentially the owner of the team.
The owner, yeah.
And his son, Nathaniel, aka Nate, who's the second driver for Dev's team. Mm-hmm. That was cool. I was like, all right, I just don't like you. It is what it is. And then we get to a race I forget which race it is, but Dev is doing amazing. He's in like 9th place and he's like moving his way up. And then his crew chief, I'm going to use a NASCAR term because I can't remember the F1 term for this. His crew chief gets on the radio and says, yo, you got to come in. Car's unsafe. And Dev is like, everything feels great. What's wrong? And crew chief won't say anything to him. Something's not right. So he unwillingly pulls the car in. Now, personally, I would have kept driving. Let that thing blow up and show me what's wrong with it.
That's not smart.
It's not smart, okay. But I already knew I didn't like Buck, so I was just going to do what I wanted to do at that point. Mm-hmm. But then, as he's storming out of the garage, the like second in charge of the crew pulls him aside and goes, hey, there was nothing wrong with the car. That was a direct order from Buck. Mm-hmm. It was at this point I was ready to find Buck, even though Buck is not real, and give him a little piece of my mind. So then I was locked in. I needed to know what was going to happen with the story of his career. I needed to know what team he was going to. I was here for the F1. I did not care about the relationship. So when we slowed down and started getting into them crossing lines, I was like, that's great. But what team are you going to? Who were you racing with next year?
Okay, so literally my exact note in that moment, I was like, oh, now there's something wrong with the car? I know they lying. And then, like, literally as I read it, I was like, I knew it! Sabotage!
To put my attitude in perspective
and I literally
for
said,
you, Jay.
You can't outshine baby boy, is literally what I said.
To put it in perspective for you, Jay, the anger I had is like Jimmy Butler when he was trying to leave Miami. I was like, trade me. That's what we gonna do. Just trade me.
Yeah.
Because you're not about to play in my face and have me losing races, even though your son
risk
sucks.
Your life. Yeah, risk your life. Now, here's the thing. So, I think we need to mention a couple of things.
Do we?
Argonaut.
You always make me do these things, and then I'll be like, nah, it's fine. Just skip over it.
I would appreciate the detail. That's why I'm even proud of the detail. What is it? Micro, macro, all right? Hold, hush. Okay.
The way I just almost gave you the finger and then had to remember we are on camera.
So, Argonaut Racing, it seemed like the team exists before Buck bought it. And Buck is like a big oil guy from Texas and brought in a whole bunch of like new money into it. But the issue is that their cars haven't improved. So, this like they have good drivers, but they can only do so well because the cars aren't as good as they can be. With that being said, they also have a term or a policy, which I was kind of wondering the legality of it, but it's a fictional book, whatever, where you have to be American in order to work for the team. You have to be American in order. Yes.
I don't remember that being an official rule. It felt more of like an implied, unofficial rule.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wonder about the legality of it. But either way, every single person who works there was American. Now, Dev, obviously being Indian American, there's now like another ploy because there's another Texas driver, all American, blonde hair, blue eyes kind of look. Yes, I did like Reed, that it's like Dev is starting to feel like they're trying to pick him up.
Oh no, there was no feeling. That was accurate, bro.
In the all-American, like, we're all-American all the time, red, white, and blue, USA baby type racing team. And the last thing I want to mention before we keep going is Willow has hypermobility, which I thought was very interesting to read in the book. And the only reason why I'm mentioning it is because she then had to go into like a very rigorous travel schedule. And I actually really wish we would have seen a little bit more of the her and Mark type situation. Yeah. Because it's like, one, it was able to kind of establish some things and her to have a safe place or safe person to talk to other than her girls on the phone. But then also, like, her body, she does train similar to an athlete just to be able to sustain and maintain in like the day-to-day life. And so I thought it was kind of like that one scene I thought was really, really great. But I wish we would see a little bit more of that.
Here's my thing. Mm-hmm. She spends the entire book thinking Mark hates her. And I think Simone used him in the right time. If that had come any sooner, we both would have been like, what was the point?
Oh, no. I didn't want it any sooner. When it came in, it was perfect. I just wish we had seen a couple more sessions. Like, even if we're not in the whole session with her, for her being like, oh, yeah, I just came from Mark, or I had to stop by Mark for, like, a tool-up, or what is it? A check-in? A tune-up or whatever.
Not You're just trying to find mechanical, like, phrases.
No, I couldn't remember the word.
So here's also the thing. I think had she kept going to Mark, it would have closed the door on all the sweet things that Dev did for her. Like, getting the Epsom salt when he took her on the date, checking in on her at the 4th of July party, which was crazy. I literally was like, I've never felt so annoyed at incorrect patriotism in my life, which is a wild situation to ever be on. And there's some other times where he's very quick to like check in on her. And I think if we remove him and put Mark in that situation, it doesn't help the building of their relationship, if that makes sense.
Makes complete sense. And again, I don't want to replace or remove any of those elements. And I don't even think we needed to do a deep dive.
So then how long do you want this book to be? It was already 400 pages.
It was?
It's $3.99, including the epilogue.
Okay. I mean, it was just an opinion. You obviously disagree. Damn.
I just am sitting here going, she already sped up the epilogue. What else was she supposed to put in there?
Speaking of the epilogues, the time jumps in this confused me. Like I was really actively trying to be unconfused by them, but then I was just like, no, I'm confused because I don't know what we're talking about right now.
I feel like she just didn't keep track of time, like in general.
Like it was like we went back and then it was the kiss from a year ago, but then we're in present time and she works for him, and then it was like it's the kiss in the stairwell. Then it's like we're like 3 races and tournaments later, and then I was like, where are we? What are we? So, and I actually liked and appreciated that it wasn't like chapter, tournament. Like, it wasn't like structured like that. But also, I just feel like it just gapped so randomly and frequently that I generally was like, I don't know where we are. Because it was like on one scene, they had like I think they had like, they did something romantic. And then like literally the next sentence was like, yeah, that was 3 weeks ago. And I was like, well where are we 3 weeks later?
I think this is one of those ones where it comes in handy to be reading the physical copy of the book.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to find it. In the book, there's these like little flags that like notate when things are changing.
Passing of time. Got it. Okay, yeah, we didn't have like a verbal break at all for that. Okay.
I kind of ripped my book open. I had to check the spine real quick, make sure it was okay. But yeah,
thank you for that, because that's sometimes you do get different experiences versus from how you consume a book.
Yeah, so like I think it was clearer at that point with those little flags notating the time jumps of like, okay, I see the timeline of things flowing.
Via audiobook, it was like, wait, what? It felt very much like, wait, we're just on the next thing? Okay.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
So hopping back into the story, we get this moment, and I feel like there's just a small smidge that was missed. After Dev gets pulled from a race, he's like, yo, I gotta get out. He's spiraling. Willow comes in. She anchors him. It's a really cute moment. And I think it's the next race where he wins.
Yes.
There's a big, like, crash in the opening lap of the race, and it takes out basically the whole front half of the
everyone
field.
in front of him,
except for one person who is his idol, Yusef.
His idol, yeah.
And thanks to the perfect pit stops and the weather and Dev really knowing his craft, which I loved, he wins. He comes in first. It's his first race that he's won in the F1 level. He's been in the league for 5 years, and even with the team trying to hold him back, he does it. I just wanted to see Buck's reaction to that. I just needed him to eat crow for like 2 seconds, and that would have just fulfilled so much of the petty monster inside of me.
Right. Because it's like, how do you receive the fact that this team you have that has never won has just won, but it wasn't your son? And it also is the one that looks the wrong way.
Also, Dev is better than me, because I'm telling you right now, in every press conference, I would have aired it out. I would have aired it all out.
I mean, he's better than me because in every time I lost, I'd have been like, yeah, we need better cars.
Well, not even just that. Like, somebody would have been like, how does it feel to win your first race? I'd have been like, yo, it feels amazing, especially when my team keeps referring to me as you people. That's the level of petty I would have been.
Unapproved media training, go back to class.
I would like to say some words, but I don't want to give you more work to edit out curse words later.
Girl, bye.
So, things are now looking up for him. His social media is back on track. His image is back on track. And now his manager is working to find him a new team, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, Dev and Willow can't fight this feeling anymore. And then finally, we have the moment.
Okay.
They throw caution to the wind. Well, because they kiss after his win. It was...
Yeah, okay. I wanted to make sure I was on the right moment because, yeah. Okay, yes. I'm with you.
And then he has to go do media and he says, stay up for me, baby. And I was like, okay. Stop. I know. I'm not as attractive as Dev. I get it. Let it ride.
I did not like that at all. Coming from you.
Fix your face. So finally they decide to cross the line. She's like, yo, you sleeping over. All right? She hit him with that leg lock and was like, you ain't going nowhere.
I actually really love that because he was like, no, I'm going to leave. And she was like, where are you going? He was like, I'm trying to be. She was like, get your behind back here. So I thought that was really cute.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Come on. And so then this kind of takes us into the final stretch of the book. Because at this point, he's back to being mid-pack for his races. He's not winning anymore. But also, the end of their deal is now looming over their head, and they're headed home for Dev's sister's wedding.
When you say their deal, you mean Willow and Dev?
Yeah. So their agreement was they would work together for about 6 weeks, which would take them up to Dev's sister's wedding, and basically summer break is what they call it. It's the break in the schedule. It's like All-Star Weekend for basketball. You know, that like random like break in there.
Yeah, I figured it had to be something with like a schedule thing. And I was like, the sister probably planned the wedding during that time since,
She said, if I'm using your credit card, you might as well be there.
No, I actually thought that was really cool how much he paid for it. I would say this, it was really weird to me that like, I have no idea who her husband is. And like, I get it, it's not their story, but I was like, her wedding was like a story plot line. I don't know what this man looks like. I don't know, like,
He made one appearance in the entire book.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if we're gonna have your wedding in the book, I feel like I should know who you get married to. Just because maybe we didn't even get the full ceremony package because it's a multi-day wedding. We got snippets. Which we really didn't need. I think we got a good amount.
Yeah, but like the main ceremony that marries them, Simone said we just gonna skip over that. But this is when Oakley is supposed to find out about Willow and Dev's love story. Now, we done spent 30 some odd chapters building up how crazy this man is. He is the big bad wolf, the booger wolf. Thanks Ty Dolla $ign for that one. And he finds out by coming out of the bathroom as Dev and Willow are like, I love you. I want to stay on the road with you. I don't want to go back to New York. And instead of beating Dev's behind like he did Willow's ex, who was also his friend at one point, Oakley just gets mad that they lied to him. And I said, I'm sorry, what? I've never been so confused by a character decision in my life. Like, I literally just had to be like, this is what we wanted to go with?
This is my note before he comes out the bathroom. I said, oh, they are going to regret that kiss at the wedding. The other shoe is going to drop. And then, like, the shoe didn't drop. like you said, like, they built up Oakley and Oakley's, like, big threats and everything and him checking up at all this time, yada, yada, yada. And then he was just like, I'm just mad y'all didn't tell me.
Right.
And it was like, okay, bro, we'll tell you next time. My bad.
It was like, okay, fine. And then the next chapter is the day after the wedding. Everybody already know. I will say I love Dev's mama in this moment. She was like, yeah, I already knew. I was trying to figure out how long it was going to take you to figure it out. Why do you think I put you on matching clothes? Like, I don't.
The matching clothes thing was so funny. And also, like, no one else recognized it, but granted, I know Indian weddings are, like, very colorful, so maybe it was harder to see, but the mom was plotting from jump. She was like, come on over for breakfast, baby. Here, let me pick out y'all outfits.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me make sure I turn off the lights so y'all don't get spotted. Like,
she was like, yeah, I watched you climbing through the window.
I'm getting grandkids one way or the other. I'm going to set y'all up.
That part. And so the guys quickly squash their beef. Willow signs on to Reed's racing team as his social media manager.
Which I loved. I loved that.
I love that as a resolution because she gets to continue to have her career. But they also get to be on the road instead of being long distance because I was like, that would not work for me. I was going to be on that plane either way. I don't know.
That, and then also, it also saves her reputation, too, because then she can now openly date a driver, and it's not the one employing her. So I loved that. Also, what I really, really loved is the fact that, and this is why I say that I think Simone did a fantastic job of building out her career, is that she's a no-name. Like, she's relatively new, whatever the case may be, but people saw not only her work, but also the results of it, and they respected that, and to the point where someone else was like, I want that. Right. So I like that it made her sought after. One thing that made me a little annoyed by Dev is that Reed was like, oh, I was willing to, like, try to persuade her to leave you to join my team. And he basically stopped the bidding war being like, oh, well, her contract's over. So, like, bro, leverage. Let her negotiate.
Girl, you know, he still was going to be like, you have to pay my girl the correct amount, though. I hope you know that. Stop playing. You know, she still was out here doing contract negotiations.
Yeah, no, you know she got taken care of. But still, that just was like a little bit like, bro, how you go, like,
hopefully was not gonna let her get played.
You right, yeah.
And so then we get this epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been annoyed by a long epilogue. Until now. Because this epilogue was like 15 pages.
Okay. I thought it was lengthy, but I wasn't too sure. And I was like, we still, okay. But also, the thing with me with the epilogue is, like I said, they did do time jumps. And like you said, there was a visual cue, but there wasn't an auditory cue. So for me, I was just like, why is this so separate when you were time jumping the whole book anyway? But I get it. Probably visually it made more sense.
So what I thought was going to be the epilogue turned out to be more than just that. Mm-hmm. So we're back on the road. It's after summer break for the racing season. And they're at a race. I think it's in Japan. I can't remember all the cities. And right out the gate, there's a horrible crash.
Oh, yes. Uh-huh. No, Singapore. They're in Singapore.
So, yeah. The front of the pack, throughout the book, there's this driver that's introduced. His name is Lorenzo, who's known as like a really defensive driver, and he's reckless. And basically, in the epilogue, he causes a crash that takes out all of the top drivers in this like fiery explosion. Okay, he doesn't take them out. I want to make that clear. None of them die. Because I realized my words there.
It was, no, but it was like a really bad crash. It was like a three driver like explosion. But then it was like other drivers got messed up in their crash because Dev was one of them that was just in the crash, but not near where the fire was.
So we start getting these jumps of Dev being in the hospital, being released. You start finding out that the rest of the drivers survived, but they're all in pretty bad places.
Yeah, they can't race this season anymore.
Lorenzo might be paralyzed now from the waist down. We still never got clarification on that. Mm-hmm. And earlier in the book, not even early, it was like maybe 4 chapters before that, it was announced that Dev is going to be able to leave Argonaut, whatever, races.
Argonaut, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And move to Marscott. How do they pronounce that in the book?
I don't know. It was the M team.
So that was always the plan after the season ended. But now with this crash.
Okay. So thank you because I was confused because at the wedding he signed with the M team, But then in the epilogue, he was still driving for Argonaut, and I was like, did we time jump again? Like, I was confused. So it was for next season they signed the deal for.
He was going to sign because one of the drivers was leaving at the end of the season, and he was going to replace him.
Got it. Okay, I didn't know you could make future deals because, you know, most sports is like, you sign that contract, pack your bags, you in the next game. Okay,
right.
I didn't know that you could, like, do that. Okay.
So, with this crash, basically, the M team gives him the option of moving over now. And he'll get to finish out his season. And he gets this cute moment with his idol, Youssef, in the hospital where he goes, you can race my car, but you also better win. Because Youssef is like an 8-time winner, or like a 7-time going for his 8th title, like, legend in the sport. And then we get epilogue part 2.
Wait, no, we can't go back to epilogue part 2 yet. We have to go on this point. Because I thought it was so sweet how this man basically did something that Argonaut never did. He welcomed in Dev. He was like, I'm welcoming you to the team. We're really excited to have you. You're an amazing driver. Please, like, feel free to take my spot for the rest of the season. He's like, but I'm coming back, but, like, make sure you win. Like, that was something that Argonaut had never done.
That's not true. Clarification there. Argonaut did. It was when Buck bought the team that things changed.
You're correct. Yeah.
Because Dev makes it clear that he came up through their, like, junior team and won all their different
development. Yes, you're right.
Yes. And then joined the team.
No, you're correct.
And then later on, Buck bought it out, and Buck and Nate were not welcoming. But it was a sweet moment for his idol. Like, it'd be like...
It was kind of like a passing of the torch thing, but also, like... Yeah, I just... that's why I love that moment, because, like you're saying, Argonaut did when he was a younger racer, but when Buck came in, they basically full-on ignored him. They were just stuck with him because he was still good.
Like, what happened to loyalty?
Right. But I love the fact that his idol was not only saying, like, hey, welcome, we're excited to have you, you're very good, you'll do very well, we have a better car than what you're accustomed to, so I full on expect you to win consistently now. Like, can you just imagine the confidence boost and, like, the elation you would have as like, a competitor in that regard?
Leaving the hotel room. The hospital room. What do you mean? I don't have to imagine anything.
But I just thought that was really sweet.
So then we got, like, the real epilogue or like what I should say I feel like
this is what I was like, this would have been the epilogue, yes.
So it's a year later. They're on break. And Dev takes, I forgot her name, Willow, to her favorite bakery. I don't know what just happened there, but Brain said we're done. And
the way Simone wrote this macaroon shop, the way I want them.
Yeah. It was so cute that, like, he was like, I know this is something you love. You were struggling with it. So he rents out the place, has the head chef teach her how to make this dessert, and then proposes. The end. And I said, okay, cool. Why was that 20 pages? I just need to know.
I thought it was a really sweet proposal, though. It was a sweet
proposal. Had that been the only part of the epilogue, I could have let it rock.
I agree. I didn't like the crashing portion being a part of the epilogue. I feel like that should have been a part of the book, with the handing over from the idol to him being the end of it, and then the epilogue being the proposal.
Because, like, the crash part was so good. It was so good. I'm gonna have to let it go. I'm gonna just have to let it go.
The proposal, though, it actually reminded me a little bit of Sweet Home Alabama, where Patrick Dempsey and Reese Witherspoon, when he proposes to her in
the jewelry shop.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that, and I was just like, oh, and I like the way Dev reminds us a couple times. He's like, yeah, I'm, like, really rich, because he doesn't flaunt it openly all the time. Right. But he does in specific moments for the people he cares about, like him basically paying for his sister's wedding, which was pretty extravagant, you know? So it's kind of just like he does what he does, but then there's other times where he'll splurge for the people he loves, and I thought that was really cute.
You know who he reminds me of? Xander's from Mile High.
Oh, I never got that, but I can totally see it. Like, but I would need him to be like a little bit more gritty.
Well, here's my thing. I'm not saying they're identical, but it's like that energy of like,
Right.
yeah, I got money. Like, I ain't got to floss it. But
I got
like,
it. You got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right. Like,
I
don't
agree.
worry about it. It's taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of energy.
Yeah.
Like, the same way Xander's bought Stevie sweats in every size so that she could find her right size instead of being embarrassed.
Yeah.
Is the same
That's
way that he, like, Dev rented the house when they got back to San Diego and, like, ran her back and, like gave them a moment to decompress.
Delivered. Yeah. I love how he was like, I used the internet to order it.
Yeah. He was like, I don't know you
Especially like
know
a man
this.
that has like assistants and a whole team. Like I also love that he was more than willing and able to do things on his own for his girl. So yeah.
You know what I would love?
What?
Think about it.
The rating.
Please?
I have my rating. I don't like it, but
then change it. It's your rating.
I don't.
You do what you want. You a grown adult.
Oh, I have a question before we get into ratings.
Just stalling.
The like brother, I'm not stalling. Maybe a little. I don't know. The brother best friend thing.
Uh-huh.
Do you feel like they executed it well in this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't about
All
them.
right.
Like, it wasn't about their friendship in the sense of, like, the story was really about Dev and Willow. And I think there's one important phone call that fixed it all for me is when Oakley beats everyone home for the sister's wedding and he calls and he's like, yo, when you coming? And then I forget what he calls them, but he's like, I love you too, dickhead. And, like, hangs up. Like, that's it. My brother has had the same two best friends since, like, birth, essentially. And the way they be fighting with each other and then all of a sudden pop up and they're fine. And it's just like, what's up, big head? That was like, all right.
Okay.
You good.
Okay. I feel like, because, like, Oakley, we only see him in person a couple times. I feel like a lot of his is just, like, an imposed threat or, like...
He's just looming in the background.
Yes.
Like, just breathing hot breath on my neck, and I need him to go away.
And like you said, I, like, the resolution, I mean, when he finally finds out, like, one of my notes is he has a statement where he says to Willow, if I hadn't let you work for him, and essentially being, if I didn't approve this job, would you have fallen in love? And it's just like, I hated his verbiage for him to turn around and being like, oh, I just had a problem with you, like, lying to me. But it's like, bro, your verbiage to both of them has been really like,
that's not true, because she goes to him in the beginning. She says, I'm not going to work for Dev unless Oakley approves of it. So if Oakley had said no, he would have stopped them, but he said yes and approved it and let it go on. So technically that verbiage isn't wrong.
Okay. I would love for someone to tell me what I can and can't do. I like a good fight sometimes.
Yes, but that's the part of having siblings, because first off, I would never think of calling my brother and being like, hey, is it cool if I work with your best friend? And even if he said no, I'd be like, that's great. This was just really sort of like a fake phone call.
I start on Monday.
Like, I'm still going to do what I wanted. Like, that's just siblings.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I wish my brother would tell me no. I'd be like, that's crazy. So you gonna pay me what he was gonna pay me because you stopped in the bag.
I was about to say, I'd be like, okay, so when are you gonna start paying my salary since you ain't letting me supplement that somewhere else? So
exactly. Okay. So now that you've stalled enough, what's your rating?
I rated it a 3.
But you don't like it. So why don't you like that rating?
I wanted to like it. I really did. But I actually was kind of really annoyed by it, kind of from the beginning.
That's a plot twist.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed by it, like, kind of from the beginning, to the point where I was kind of like, if it wasn't for the podcast, I might have DNF. Like, not like oh, I can't read it. I think I would have, like, paused. It would have just been like a 6-month kind of pause. They were a little annoying to me.
They who?
Oakley, Dev, and Willow were all a little annoying to me. So literally, like, one of my first notes was, I was locked into the prologue until the end of it, because what do you mean you crashed a car because of a kiss? Like, that's literally, like, one of my first notes. And so it was kind of just like, I feel like that was the kind of energy that started it off for me, where I was like, yeah, they were a little... I think Dev and Willow ended up being very cute, and I think they're a very cute couple, and I like that journey. But as fictional characters, individuals, they all kind of irritated me.
I made a statement at the beginning, and I'm going to stand by it. I manifested that everything would be okay no matter what you said. So we just going to let it rock, because I feel like we read 2 different books, and I'm going to leave it alone.
Yeah. I don't think it was bad. I absolutely will read something else by Simone, because I did like her writing. But I just think maybe this specific combination.
Maybe if it's because you're just not like a racing person.
Maybe. I actually really like the racing portion of it. It was the relationship portion of it that
but I
irritated
feel
me
like
a little bit.
For me, it makes sense that like he got distracted in his race because he was too busy thinking about the kiss. And that's why he crashed in the prologue. It wasn't just because he kissed his best friend's sister. Like, his mind was still on it at the beginning of the race. And you're like, okay. Yeah, that's annoying.
Okay, like, listen, I'm not a race car driver, and I know my sport of tennis is extremely different, but, like, you gotta lock in when it's time to lock in, so.
All right, that's fair. I think I'm going to rate it a 4. I think, for me, it had everything that I wanted in this situation. For me, it gave me everything I wanted in the race scenes. But I can't give it a 5 because the relationship part of it all just didn't do much for me. But it was still good because I was like, give me more race scenes. And also because I bought the second book when I bought the first book months ago. So I'm going to have to like it either way because I got to read the second one.
Is the second one still set in like F1 world or is it just a different character?
It's different characters, but it's still in the F1 world. It's a different driver.
Okay. I have to see the setup because
that one's a marriage of convenience.
Brother's best friend setup for this one just wasn't me, which is like, I usually love those because I didn't grow up with my siblings. I have no issues with the whole brother best friend. Like, I'm like, okay. So those don't creep me out. Like how like sometimes age guys make me go, ugh. So like that doesn't creep me. But this one just didn't land for me on the romance side of it. But the racing part of it, that I was locked in on. It was the romance side of it that I was kind of just like, y'all are annoying. Just get together. And then, or not. But also I have to remind myself a couple times while reading this that she's young.
Right.
I think she's like 21, 23. So just like her responses were completely accurate for her age range. But I think just, I was kind of just like, all right, girl, either kiss him or you don't. Or like be a big girl, make a decision. It was kind of that energy.
I think I've rubbed off on you because that's normally my energy of like, so you gonna kiss him or not? Like, I don't care.
I did definitely feel very Chelsie energy while reading this.
Meanwhile, I was like, so what's happening in the next race? What's pole position? Where do
that's what I'm saying. I think Simone's writing was fantastic, and the reason why I mentioned the whole their parents' background, I thought the way that she wrote and incorporated their cultures throughout was beautiful, and also some of the sub-characters' cultures as well too. Like Shava's, I think he was Mexican or
he's Mexican.
Like, I like that we got to see and feel some of the other cultures throughout. Like, it wasn't have to be a main stage on it, but it was just represented well. So I like her writing. I like her flair. I just feel like this the exact combination wasn't for me, but I absolutely do want to read something else of hers because I liked the experience. It was just the exact combination that wasn't for me specifically.
Yeah, definitely. I'm intrigued by the second one because it's a marriage of convenience. You know, I love that forced proximity.
Me too.
Right. So we'll see how it goes. If you can't tell, I got hella books to get through. All that way and behind me. So we'll see when it happens. But in the meantime,
so you let me know if I gotta hop into the rest of the series. So yeah.
But in the meantime, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share it with your friends. If you enjoyed it, tell your homies. Shout it from the rooftops. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what this motion was. Maybe it was this. We're gonna rock with it. But we will see y'all in the next one. I don't remember when this drops, so Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. If not, congrats on surviving another day with your family. That's all I'm gonna say. We will see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye, y'all.